of your FICO. 760 and up, you know that's life goals. If your credit too low, walking on the tightrope. So yo, credit up, get your credit up. Credit up, get your credit up. Credit up.
I want to make this live special, right? And the topic of this live is 10 million, right? I got 10 million because that's the goal for this year, right? And it's multiple things, right? Through, you know, buying real estate, adding value. I know we got a project together that I partner with you on, so I want to talk about that as well. And like, that's part of the strategies and things like that. But I want to talk about how we're going to get to that 10 million, right? But before we even get to the money, and we all know this, in order to get your money right, you got to get your mind right. That's number one. So I want to ask you this, right? I want to know, for 2023, what are your goals for 2023? What are you going to be doing this year? How do you see your year planning out,
man,
so far?
My number one goal is to get out of my own way and do a better job at delegating and allowing my business to grow the way it should grow. I've been around a long time, man, but spent a lot of time, you know, want to touch everything. I was raised not to trust, so I didn't trust systems or people. And so I posted one day about why am I not a billionaire? And it's the only reason I'm not a billionaire yet is because I didn't put the right systems in place and I didn't trust other people. I didn't delegate well. And so I started last year doing some things, hiring some folks, partnering with some folks. And so this year, man, you know, I don't put a number on it because I don't like to put a number on it because that caps me where I'm going because I'm gonna get happy with it, right? But I know we're gonna go to some levels that we've never seen before based upon that.
I love that you said get out your own way, right? Because a lot of you, let me know in the comments, type 1 in the comments if you feel like you're in your own way. If you feel like you've been holding yourself back,
you know what, Ramel?
You know what? I want y'all to resonate.
We're always in our own way. It's never, bro, I don't care where you grew up. I don't care what your situation is. I don't care. You know what I mean? You're always in your own way. And it's always, you can blame yourself. Because when you start blaming other folks, man, you can always say, yeah, man, you know, I grew up, somebody took that same situation and did well. So I know people that have been to prison, people that done experienced all kind of heartache, people that, like, no matter what you say, somebody's been through it. Just about, I'm going to say 99% of the things people have been through and became successful with it. So if you look at yourself, despite what happened, is how you reacted to it. What did you set up to handle whatever's happening? That's why I say you're always in your own way. It's never anybody else. It's nothing that you can do. It's nothing that I'm going to say John can do. It's nothing that the system can do that will not allow me to get what I want. Oh, yeah.
Now you talking heavy. And I love this, right? Because you are a vet in the game at this point, right? You've been doing real estate for a very long time, made a lot of money, helped so many people out. And for you to still be at the level that you are, and say, I still got more to do, right? I still got more improvement. I still got to get out of my own way. I just want to highlight that because a lot of people who may not even done a fraction of what you've been able to do in real estate, you know, if Ramon could do it, you could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. So I want you to explain a little bit more like what does that mean as far as getting out your own way though? Like, what is some, like, I want to hear actionable steps. Like,
number one, man, is literally I have an amazing team, allowing them to do what they're better at than I am. Like, you know, if I have a CMO, right, Chief Marketing Officer, get out the way. Stop telling her, nah, I don't like that one. Nah, I don't like that one. Just do it and run the play. All I need to do is show up. Same thing. I have a Chief Financial Officer working hand in hand, because one of the things I know that I've always kind of relied on other folks is learning how to raise capital, not buying deals, because some kind of way I figured out. But why are we not raising $1 billion? Why do we keep saying, man, I got to raise $1 million? Why are we not raising a bit? Why are we saying $1 million instead of $1 billion? Right? It's too many people. We spent trillions during Christmas, trillions. We went crazy and spent a bunch of money, right? We should be able to raise $1 billion so that we buy the neighborhoods that we're talking about. And it doesn't have to be the hood. We can be buying Buckhead. We can be buying Harlem. We don't have to just keep saying we buying the hood, because we deserve to have the best as well. So, you know, number one is allowing the team and bringing on the right members, right? So building that team is critical, man, right? My cousin ain't going to cut it. My cousin ain't cutting it, right? My sister, you know, most of them not going to cut it. My friend that I love, probably not going to cut it. I love you, but I got to love myself and my future and my children and the next generation better. So I got to bring on somebody that's experienced at raising capital. We got to pay that $200,000 a year salary instead of trying to pay a VA to go out there and send stuff out to raise capital. Nobody wants to talk to your VA. You asking me 50,000? I don't want to talk to your VA, man. So I know everybody talks about that, right? You want to talk to that exec, they don't want to talk to your VA. And I know it's people are going to go against that, man, but really bringing on the right people, because everything else, when you got the right people and the right system, everything else is easy. Stop looking at the money. The money. So deals are going to always be there. I don't care what the economy is, good or bad. The money is an unlimited supply of money out here. It's really about your presentation and your system and your team. Once you got those together, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I need y'all to drop some fire emojis in the comments for that. I need y'all to drop the fire, right? Like, and I want to add to that, because for this year, for me, my goal is to be intentional, right? Because I feel like I've been successful, like, and success is perspective, right? But I feel like I've done it by accident, right? Like, I've done certain things and without real strategy, without getting the right proper personnel in place. And just like you said, you've been raising money for years, but doing it just the way we know how to do it versus going and just paying a tab and getting the right people to really do it at that high level. So for me, this year is about being intentional and saying, all right, if this is my goal, how can I get there, and not focusing on everything under the sun. I need to focus on one thing or whatever it's going to take to get to that main goal, right? And for everybody that's working like 9-to-5 jobs, I want to share this, because 2 years ago, I was working a 9-to-5 job, right? I was working at Pepsi as a sales rep, and I always had a plan to leave my job and become my own boss and all this stuff, right? And it was crazy, because these last 2 years, I made the most money I ever made. I made the most progress in my business I ever made, because I had to let go of something else, right? A lot of us don't want to let go of something that's holding us back because we think it's safe. And I had to question myself. I said, how could this job be a safety net for me if I'm dependent on somebody else when they taking on all the risks? Who knows what, like, this CEO is taking on all the risks and I'm dependent on them to keep my job, right? So a lot of us, I'm not saying quit your job, but what I'm saying is at some point, you got to bet on yourself, whatever that looks like. You have to bet on yourself, have the confidence, take the risk, and live wherever you got to live with the results.
One thing I'll say,
live with the results, right?
Because we have a debate about school. I have debates about school. I have debates about jobs. And my thing is, man, you gotta get in tune with yourself, and you gotta pray, and you gotta understand what's your route, because what you did is amazing. Everybody's not gonna be able to do that, right? What I do, everybody's not gonna be able to do it. I know people with jobs that want to keep their job, but they're able to partner with people like us, and they can continue to grow but keep their job, because that's their calling. Like, there's some school teachers that don't need to quit teaching because we need to take care of them babies. God put you here to take care of them babies, but you can also partner with us while you're teaching, so it makes teaching easier. So really finding out who you are, why you're here, like getting in tune with yourself, making sure you build that right team, not making the same mistake we make, which is why, I post about my mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm not the person that says, I made $100 million and I never made a mistake. No, I'm going to tell you, I make mistakes all the time, but you shouldn't make those mistakes, because I tell you what mistakes I made. So that's what, again, that team, that partnerships, not comparing myself to, like, I'm not going out and buy self-storage units. I know how to call you and say, listen, the self-storage unit came by my desk. Hey, brother, what are we doing with this, right? It doesn't make sense. And too many of us want to be at the head of the table or want to wear that crown instead of worrying about the money, right? That's why they had, if you think about the stories, they had kings and priests. The preachers keep preaching, the kings go get the money, right? The kings don't try to preach, and the priests don't try to go get the money. You got to play your role and know your role and be happy with your role, and the whole system will work out just fine.
I love what you're saying, bro, because a lot of times we just can't play our role. Like, everybody want to be the top guy. I put a post about it a couple months ago. And in order to really, like, grow, you got to just be the best role player. Like, my role may be marketing. This is my role to do marketing. This role may be to raise cap. Your goal is to get the leads and close the deals, right? Your goal is to work with the title. Everybody has to play a part. the problem is we have egos, right? We got more pride than money. Like I don't understand it. It don't make a lot of sense, right? That's why I could call. It's the same way you say, hey, you know, when it comes to self-storage, you call my phone and we go through the deal. I'm gonna call your phone. You got the 22 unit building in Alabama, right? So you call me up like, yo, let's go. I'm investing with you, right? Because you leading the way. You gonna show me how to. You even put me on the game. You said, yo, you need to put together a fund. It's not that hard. I said, nah, I don't want to do a fund because I ain't have the confidence. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have the confidence. I said, nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna just stick with my own small thing. But you gave me the confidence. It takes somebody to be able to see something in you that you may not be able to see in yourself. And that's so powerful in having the right people around you and building these strong relationships. I want you to talk about relationships too. Like how important are relationships?
They're number one
and just
in
life,
life.
period.
You know what I mean? Your relationship number one. The first relationship is your relationship with God. You know, you got to have it. Whatever your religion is, you better have a good one with God. Then you got to have a great relationship with yourself. That's where a lot of us, you know, need counseling and need things where, you know, we all have trauma as kids, or we have something that happened that we're not looking at it the right way. And then when we get that help, we can start looking at it the right way. And then your family, your friends, and then in business, man, your relationships are number one. It's more superior than money and deals. You know what I mean? You got the right relationship. The money could go away, but you can come back. You can get the right deals because of a relationship. It's a lot of things, man, that have happened to me only because of a relationship. There's a lot of deals that have came my way, not because we had this great marketing system and we got so much more money than somebody else, because of a relationship that I had with somebody that brought that deal to me. So relationships are number one, man. They're number one. And all relationships, you got to learn how to cut some of them. You got to learn how to say, you know what, man, that relationship that's not for where I'm going. I love you. We friends. I can meet you at the bar, but you can't go to X with me, right? Because you and me don't have the vision. You ain't got the same energy. I got to call Ramel for that. You know what I mean? It's just like when you were a kid, when you played basketball, the same 4 people that play basketball went on your kickball team or your dodgeball. You know what I mean? Like, so you really have to understand what's needed and be okay with somebody being upset because they're not on that side of the field, or you didn't choose them to be your quarterback because you did Tom Brady. I didn't need Mike Wilson. I needed Tom Brady. And because I am the general manager, I have to make the right decisions for the whole company so that we win. And my company of life, I got to make the right decision. Listen, Ramel, you just starting out with kids, right? My kids, I have to make decisions that they may not like. I have to say things that they may like, but guess what? You're just not going to like it. And at least I get my part by telling you, and then when you come back years later, you can say, yep, I didn't listen to you and this happened. And maybe it worked out for the best, but I'm going to give you what I got based on my vision, and we good to go. Okay.
I'm going to drop your IG. They're asking for your Instagram.
Yeah, but those
are drop
relationships, man, number one. Number one.
So you said a few things. You said a few things that I want to talk about, right? You said relationships, right? So important both ways, whether you build strong relationships or you got to get rid of the dead weight. I want to because a lot. I'm gonna be real. Me personally, I got a big heart, so it's tough for me to just cut people off or just, you know, tell people what it really is. Like, it's hard. Like, I've mustered up the courage to do it because I have a business and I have a team around me, so I gotta make the tough decisions. But that's not me by heart, right? That's not me by nature. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, but let me give you one measurement. I want you to always remember this one, right? One thing. It's either them or the missus and the babies. Take your pick. Every day.
I'm gonna pick the missus and the babies all day long.
That's how it goes. When you sit down, man, and you pray about a situation and you clear about it, and you sit down and talk to the missus. If it's somebody that's really like, oh my God, I don't want to do it, you sit down and talk to the missus because they're gonna have a different perspective than us. When you sit down and you say, you know what? If both of y'all agree on it, until it's clear, then you got to kind of stay in there. But when it's clear, let them go or keep them on. You got to make the decision, right? And that's how I'm same way, man. Big heart, want to help everybody. And over the years, man, I've learned that can't help everybody, and everybody can't go. Everybody not gonna be on that same plane with us. Everybody not gonna be in the same pool with us. Everybody not gonna be in that same deal with us because they're not it's not meant for them to be there. Sometimes people are supposed to go to the first floor with you, and then you go to the third, you pick up somebody else and go to the fifth. It's just, that's the way life goes. That's just it, man. So yeah, don't struggle too hard on that. It's either them or them.
You're right. Like that you just simplified it for me. You just like simplified it completely for me. And what's crazy is I share this story all the time. I'm not sure who've heard this, right? But my very first deal, right? I closed it. I made 6 figures, all that cool stuff. But it was a lesson that I learned in that deal, because as I was struggling to raise the money and figure out a way to close on it, I went to my grandfather. I went to a bunch of people, like my friends, like family, everybody trying to raise the capital, and nobody invested. Like everybody felt like, oh, they ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I knew certain people had it, but they gonna tell me they ain't got it because it's not for what they want to do. However, my grandfather, he said to me, he said, yo, this deal is too big for you. You need to start small. I get where you're going, but you're being a little ambitious here. Start small. And I love my grandfather, but if I would have listened to him, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like it was discouraging, but then I felt like I had a point to prove, right? And I went out there, I still got the deal done, still made the money, still got the experience, but I had to say, it's sometimes people that's closest to you that really love you, and it's not that they don't want you to win, it's just that they don't even know how to win themselves. They never even been through it. They don't even know where you're trying to go. If you get a vision, you go and share it with somebody else that don't have that same vision and let them kill your dreams like it don't make sense. So because of that experience, it has helped me. And for everybody that's happening, me and King Ramon, we spent a lot of money to join a mastermind that we build and we learn together. And I remember at this mastermind, we was with what's the Billy Genius, right? And he was like, he said, yo, saying no will get you to 7 figures, but saying he said saying yes will get you to 7 figures, but saying no will get you to 8 figures. I was like, damn, man, that's crazy, right? Like saying yes will get you some money, but saying no is really what's gonna get you to that big money, what's really gonna separate you and put you in a different level. So that's how we're gonna get to that 10 million plus and raising $1 billion by saying no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know how many of y'all in the comments, how many of y'all are good with saying no? Like, if you comfortable with saying no to your family, your friends, or somebody saying, let's go hang out. Like, so tonight at 7:30 p.m., I'm having my 5-day training, y'all. It's only $297. It's like a steal. It's crazy, right? For 5 days, $297, it is a steal. And some people are going to say, damn, I can't afford it. Well, you can't afford not to do it. And then you got to think about it. Who could I say no to? If somebody's reaching out to you saying, let's go hang out this weekend, you need to say, no, I need to spend that money to go ahead. If somebody's trying to call you on the phone and talk about gossip, you need to say no, because I need to be spending time learning and building and getting information. So saying no is what's really going to help you get to that next level in your life.
You know, saying no, man, is tough for a lot of us, though, man, honestly. You know, because a lot of us was raised where we heard too many no's, so we don't want to say no. But like you said, when you get into a certain level, it's certain things you got to say no to. It's certain things, it's certain times I'm looking at like social media and I'm like, man, I wish I would have went to that event. But I had to say no, right? Because I'm at a certain stage, and it's a very fragile stage, because you got to go from, I'm reading a book from 0 to 100 by Masterson, right? And there's certain stages, that $1 to $2 million range, is that $2 to $10 million range, is that 10 to 20, that 20 to 50, then that 50 to 100, then 100 to 300, right? And each one of them levels is going to be real painful as you're going from one level to the next, because you kind of know what to expect. You don't really have all the resources, but you know you're going to get them. That's having that faith and that vision. And so when you're going, and it takes, oh man, it's going to be painful. I got to say no. I'm not able to go to every. I love sports. I'm not able to go. Like, I would have loved to been in DC at the fight last night, but I'm not right there right now. Right now, I'm where you are, man. We got to raise X amount of dollars. We got to do this amount of deals. And me going there takes away from me reading something, 50 pages that could have said, you know what, that's going to trigger something that does it. Or me having a meeting with somebody like you, man, saying that, boom, that's going to take us to that next level. So you got to be mindful, not just know the people, but know the situation, know the thing. Maybe you got to wear, instead of wearing those, what they call them, the Balenciagas, you got to put on some Crocs. I wear Crocs every day, because you know why I look at it? Listen, I love nice clothes. But I understand, man, sometimes if you're going to be my friend, based on me having on Balenciagas or not, right? If I got on Crocs or some Chuck Taylors and we're going to get 10 million, or I got Balenciagas on and I'm struggling, I'm telling you now, you're just not going to be my friend because I'm going to put them Crocs. I don't have on some $50 Crocs. And, you know, and so that's what no means. No means no to people and situations.
I think it boils down to confidence, right? Like we have to have that belief in ourselves, and that's what stops us from saying no, right? Because we just don't have the confidence, or we go out there and we spend a bunch of money on the outside, but not spend all the money on the inside, right? Because that's really what it's about. The reason why you could throw on Crocs and you don't really care about it because you know what's in here and what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You know that you building businesses, you got portfolio, you're doing a lot. That means nothing to me, right? Because I know that it's the inside game. It's really not what's on the outside. So I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about raising capital, right? Because I know right now we raising capital for a few projects, but I want to talk in particular the 22-unit project. What are some qualifications that somebody may need? They say they want to invest, right? Let's say somebody on this live, you want to become an owner. You want to have some type of equity in a project. What are some qualifications that somebody need in order to put themselves in position?
So with this particular project, man, it's 22 units. We bought it 2.5 years ago. And from day one, I was saying, give us 3 years to get it up and running, to get us cash flowing at about 8 to 9% return a year, which is normal. I know people say, I get 30% return. So those are not the people, right? So the qualifications are that you understand it's a long-term investment. We look at buying out or refinancing within like every 3 years. And so, $10,000 is the minimum buy-in. You get 1.5% ownership, which will equate to about 8-9% when we get at 80% occupied. And so right now, I don't know if you saw, I celebrated. I sent out an email. Hopefully you got your email, but we sent out an email. We got 14 tenants. We got 8 more to get occupied. And then once we get 4 more tenants, we are then at that point where we're getting 8% return per year. We're at 80% occupancy. Anything over that, man, we killing it, right? And so this model is something that we got to perfect, but it's simple. You buy in, we get something up and running, we buy it already running, we raise the rents, increase the value. Either we can sell it or refinance it, pull our money back out, and do it again. And then at some point, it just continues to grow and grow, and then the cash flow becomes amazing. Right now, we bought it, like I said, in August of, August of 20, right? And 2020, yep, August of 2020. And a lot of learning lessons came out of it, which I can teach. We're very transparent about it. If you ask me if you want to see anything about it, I can send you a video, we can show you financials. But it's just about we're taking 22 units as a team, and I think we got another 100K to raise to finish it. Once we finish that, we closing out. Whoever's in this group will always be a part of this one. Boom. If we do another, you're gonna do another group because you're gonna do a couple of funds. I'm gonna do a couple more funds that are gonna be a little bit different. But this is like, for me, this is mothership. This is the one that we've learned a lot about. This is, I put a lot of time into. You can't even measure how much time and value that we've put into it. But it is something that's going to show us how to duplicate this process. So when a building comes up, a 50 unit, 100 unit, we already got money. We already got the partners because we built everybody up in this one. And then if we do another one, it's just you won't be a part of this one. This is, this is our baby, man. So again, qualifications is you got to understand that, it's a long-term investment. You're not getting rich overnight, right? You probably going to get somewhere between 8 to 10% return, and then you are owning the equity, and so it's real simple, you know what I mean? And I tell people, if you look at my posts, I say, if you're looking to get rich overnight, this ain't the one. Go do your flip, go sell you some options, go do something else. This ain't the one for you.
Yeah, I need everybody to type wealth in the comments. Everybody type wealth, because if you're looking to build wealth, I'm gonna break this down for y'all, right? I'm gonna break this down for you. I need everybody to type wealth in the comments. And there's a few things that you said. You on fire tonight too, bro. Just to let you know. But it's one thing that you said is long term, and this is what I try my best to get this message across to everybody. Is understanding that you got to think about where are you going to be 5, 10 years from now, because time is inevitable. Like, time is going to pass us by regardless of whether we like it or not, right? But growth is optional, right? So whether you want to grow your money and how you want to grow it, that's totally up to you. A lot of times we go for the quick fix and flip or the quick cash that we can get, but that's not how wealth is built. Wealth is built in the long term. So for me, I invested with you. I'm not even worried about it. I'm thinking 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? That's my mindset, because I'm like, if I can make this money, invest, in 10 years from now, look up and see how much equity I done built, right? And then we have to understand financial literacy. In our community, unfortunately, we don't understand 8% return, 10% return. All we know is I want to double my money. You know what I'm saying? I put in 5, I need 10. I put in 10, I need 100. Like, it don't work like that. Because if you understood percentages of financial literacy, if you go and put your money in the bank, the same $10,000 that you may have sitting in your bank account, if you go keep it in the bank, you're talking about 0.01% versus investing in a vehicle where you're going to get 8 to 10% return on your money plus equity on the back end as the property grows in value. So you got to understand the opportunity cost of your money here, and this is what I try so much to explain and educate, and this is what keeps us from elevating as fast as we want, because we stuck on the quick. We want the quick. Oh, nah. How long is it going to take for me to make my money back, right? And then you look up. So for me, this is my goal, bro. My goal. I'm 30 years old right now. I'm giving myself 10 years, right? I'm saying by 40 years old, I want to get to the point where I have my own private money lending firm. I want to be the lender, right? So how many assets do I need to buy? How many life insurance policies do I need to buy? Where do I need to park my money so that in 10 years from now, I can now have all of this equity, borrow against it, and then just lend out money.
So,
you know what I'm saying? And now make interest on my money.
Let me make that one easy
that's
for
my goal.
Let me tell you what the private hard money companies do, right? And like, we're working on something. So the hard money lenders, the reason why they lend 65, right? Most of them, not only do they borrow from other folks and give it, so they lend to us at 8 to 10%, they borrow and give back to other investors at 6%, which is a good return for somebody that's got a retirement account sitting somewhere it's not doing anything. But they also can leverage your property with the bank through a line. So let's say you find a self-storage unit, right? And I'm the hard money lender. Your self-storage unit is worth $10 million. I'm going to lend you $6.5 million, which technically the bank is lending. I get the money from the points. Anything that's different that the bank needs, I'm going to make you bring it down. So that 65% rule doesn't come from some things that come straight from the bank. That's what they give to the hard money lenders to lend to us. The hard money lender then has to guarantee it, but you brought down enough money where the hard money lender may be in it at 50, 55%, and you bring down another 10%. Oh, it's a simple. I mean, you just got to get the table. So normally it's not their money. Normally it's somebody else's money. So normally when I first started, it used to come from all these different IRAs, right? And it still does. I've seen a lot of them, the back end of it, they come from IRAs or private lenders, true private lenders, not these hard money lenders that say they're private lenders, but true private lenders where you sitting around with 100K and we say, you know what, go lend this out, bring me back 10% a year, right? And I don't have nothing to worry about. I got the first mortgage. If something happens, we foreclose, right? Because we're in a very good position. So the essence of the business is getting other folks to fund your hard money company, which is, something, like I said, we making sure we crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, but that's coming soon. But we can sit down, man, and just, I want to make it as easy as possible for you. So, any of that learning curve that I have, you got it already, bro.
Yeah, we need to sit down, because like that's my goal, and you just simplified, because I didn't know that essentially they're just being a middleman. That's essentially what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So pretty just being able to pull the money from different sources, get theirs in between, and just manage that whole process is just it's crazy. It's bill syndication.
People how to go out and get $50, $100, $200,000 zero interest the first year. Imagine this: you taught 10 people to go get $100,000, 0% interest the first year, and you go out there, you say, you know what, I'm gonna lend it for 6 months at 10%, and you do that every year. And
don't give me no ideas, bro.
3 to 5 points. and you charge an underwriting fee. You know what I'm saying? So again, you're doing the same thing. You just focus on that part of the business. You can raise $1 million or $2 million. You keep turning it.
Damn. Now y'all gotta drop some gems in the comments back, because that was a whole lesson he just gave me. Y'all for free. He could have sent the invoice for that one. Because that's a lot of game right there. And I want to dig a little bit more into that, like a little bit more into it. So I know you said behind the scenes y'all working on some things to get to the private. Why do that? Why even go to the point of being a private money lender, a hard money lender, versus just buying the properties yourself? Like, so what's the difference?
So really, it's no cons. It's really no cons, because we're only gonna lend it to a certain percentage. Why would I want to do it? Because we can do it when we're 100 years old. We can put a trust in place that says, you know what, when I die, my $10 million worth of insurance can only be used for a hard money company, not to go to my kids. They can get some of the interest, but they don't get the principal, right? Because that's a business that will be around forever. I don't care how good your bank is, how good your credit is. When you're in a competitive market, you need to do a development. It's always, and that's why they're around. That's why so many of them are popping up, because there's always a need for that private, quick, short-term money. And so for me, why do we want to do it? I know that you're not able to buy and sell everything, right? I know that there's people that need funding. Like, there's people that need funding under $50,000. It's a real shortcoming of the industry. And that's something, again, our fund is going to kind of focus on. Like, all those deals you see me posting, you know, 25, 30,000, need 60,000 in repairs. Most people look at those like, man, I'm only going to make 10% return. But where's she going to get that from? Where's she going to be in a property at 100,000 and get $1,800 a month? Really nowhere. No, I get it. No, I don't get it. So, you know, the cons is just putting it together, making sure we stay in compliance, making sure we got the right team members and not trying to run it all, making sure we got the right inspectors. But again, to me, that's easy, because that's what I love to do. I love to go to different cities and build teams, build relationships. Again, that's when I used to see me like smiling like crazy, man. Jump off a plane, come to eat, look at some real estate, I'm back in, you know.
Gotcha. Nah, that's fire right there. I think somebody got a question. I want to answer. I want you to answer. How do you find people who need to
say, I got some money. I got some money I need to lend. You can post on social media. You can go to the real meetings. You can go to the foreclosure sales when people on the courthouse steps. That's really the easy part. Finding somebody that's got great deals and that need to borrow money. It's not a shortage of those people.
Yeah, like that's the easiest part. Like, that's why you want to get to that point, because for me, the reason why I want to get to that goal is because, you buy all the properties in the world, like, that's amazing. You buy all the storage facilities, buy all the apartment buildings, but you know, you got to manage a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So you get to the point where it's more money than deals out here, right? So now you be in the position to lend out. You can also still buy your assets, but if you have money sitting around while you're waiting on the next asset, where somebody else have a deal and you can help them out. So you're not only impacting people by being able to be a funding source, but now your money is working for you multiple times in multiple ways, where it's never gonna sit. Because there is times where I make a good chunk of money and now it's sitting until I get to the next deal. I don't want the money sitting. Right, so it needs to go somewhere. It needs to go somewhere in that meantime. And for everybody that's happening right now, for those of you that do not know, at 7:30 p.m. tonight, we're kicking off the Cash Flow Boot Camp. It's gonna be crazy. You see the type of information we're talking now is high level. You're really gonna go high level, teaching you everything that you need to know when it comes to the commercial real estate business, getting funding. And they need to share
this, though. They need to share this, man, because they really, you know, it should be thousands of people on your boot camp, man. It's really, you know, one thing I can say that is probably has bothered me over the years. As much as information we give out, you still have people like, man, why would I pay $300? But if somebody was selling it for the same thing for $3,000, but they had a different look, then we pay for it. I've seen people go out and pay for stuff and then come to me to ask me questions. I'm like, no, bro, I just seen you at Grant Cardone thing. Why you didn't get up and ask Grant Cardone? Like, I'm not trying to make money, but you got to understand, if you got to pay for 3 or 4 different boot camps, but you got to just pay for Ramel's. That's all you need. You got Ramel, man, I don't look at his age. Look at his accomplishment and his energy, right? and I know that he's amazing. Like I say, I got to learn him, understand who he is over the past year or so, and it's been a blessing to me. Just the sheer great energy, your kindness, man, being around you, man, seeing the family, like that's amazing, bro. Like especially at your age, most people use that as an excuse. You, man, if they don't join, they just don't join, bro. One thing I've learned, you cannot make them do it. When they decide they want to do it, they're gonna do it. When we figure out a way about making people do it, then we burning ourselves out. I can just put the information out there. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the best information. I got the best relationships, the best deals coming your way. You got to decide either you're going to lose or not lose, because that's what's happening. You don't take up on the opportunity, you're losing. We're winning. We're going to win.
That's it.
Yeah, we win.
That's it. That's just how it goes. You hit it on the head. I don't even need to say like anything more than that. We provide these opportunities. This is the reason why I started mentorship, right? And we're gonna close it out in a few, but I want to ask you the same question. So this is what happened, bro. So that deal, my very first deal was a brownstone 2-family in Brooklyn, right? I ended up connecting with a lady. She was a broker in New York City, Black woman, been in the business 20, 30 years. She said that,
yeah.
Can you hear me?
I do.
All right. She was willing to help me because she said I reminded her of my son, of her son, right? Young Black guy, and she seen that I was hustling, I really wanted, and she ended up connecting me to another person who became my capital partner and invested all the money. But the guy that invested all the money, he didn't look like me. I'm gonna just be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, he partnered with me because the deal made sense, and he was making double his money. So the deal made sense, right? After we made him a bunch of money, partnered on the deal, fix it up, flip, right? After we made money on that deal, I reached out to him. I said, hey, can you mentor me now? Like, we partnered with you, we made you money. I want to reinvest, but I want you to mentor me. He told me no. I said, nah. He literally told me no. And after I just made you all of this money, all he cared was about the money. He just know this was a good deal. I could become a partner. I could make my money and get out of here. He didn't want to share the game with me. So I had to continuously go from there and just make my mistakes.
Can you hear me? Let's see. You back home? I can hear you now. Yep. So all right. Let me say about mentorship though.
All right, but yeah.
I stopped mentoring for a couple of years because we do the business and we want to help other folks, and it's a lot. So with you offering mentorship, man, a lot. I don't want to say away from your family and your business, but a lot of your energy, more than 50% of your energy is going into other folks, and sometimes they don't appreciate it. It's a lot, man. So some people, when you meet older people, I understand why they are the way they are now, because you go through things. You say, you know what, I can just go make me some money in my family. Which offer, man, you hear so much, bro. Like even for 5 days for $297, what is that? $60? That ain't even $60 a day, bro. That's not even like we spend more than that every time we leave the house. Every house we spend more than that.
Absolutely.
So when you look at people and they say no, he may have been at a point where he had to say no because he's doing something else. Like we're talking about saying no right now, right? It may be with an opportunity right now.
Right.
You may have to say, you know what, I like what I did. I just put money out there, but I don't want to do anything else because I'm not in that position. I don't have the time. So you got to look at it that way. Like, everybody can't do it.
Right. You right.
Right. So
right.
I'm not taking on any more mentees.
See, now I didn't even look at it that way. I was like, damn, we made all this money, did all this. You can't mentor me? Like, that's just crazy, you know? But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Bro, I appreciate it. Everybody go follow Ramon. If you're not following him yet, what you want to do is go click that arrow at the top. I'm about to drop my Instagram in here.
Hey, listen, man, if y'all are on here, Ramel gives so much free information all the time. Go spend $297, y'all. Go spend it. Go buy. You know what? Even if you feel like you got it all, if you've already done it, go buy it as a gift. You don't have to wait to Christmas or Valentine's or a birthday to give somebody a gift. Go call somebody. Call a young college kid. Call, you know, your brother that needs some help. Let him, not just the information, but the energy that Ramel brings. Y'all go spend the money. $297. Y'all, that's not, people pay that for a pair of Jordans right now. People pay that for shirts right now. Literally, we go out to eat, man. You spending $200 every time you go out to eat to a nice restaurant. $297 will change your life. This $297 will change your. I can't tell you every $297, but this $297 over the next 5 days is gonna change your life. And if you're not willing to spend that, hey man, we'll see y'all when we up there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. All right, bro. I appreciate you 100%. You already know, I always got to give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? Just for being a trailblazer, being a leader. And I see your growth too. Like, even though like on the real estate side, you've been killing it. I've been watching you from a social media standpoint because I know that's not your nature. Just getting on live, speaking. You got the podcast. Like, I'm like, I see what you're doing. You know, you're definitely getting uncomfortable and growing. So I'm proud of you for doing that. And it inspires me to say, yo, we got to keep.
I got to get you down here on the podcast, though. That's one thing. I just told David, I went in his room. I was like, hey, man, you can't be having him over here, man. He got to be in the other room over here. So I know we'll jump on the call, but listen, man, blessings. Thank you for all that you do, man. And I know this next 5 days, you get ready to change not just your life, but the world, man. So again, thank y'all. If y'all on here, you better go join that 5-day challenge, 5-day boot camp.
Text cash flow to 347-429-6496. It's pinned below. We out of here.